Hey, beautifuls, it's me, Chris, with Pause Lifestyle, and today we're going to be talking about the importance of sleep part 2, where we'll be going into tips, hacks, and different things you can do to help you sleep better. Now, let us begin. If you remember in part 1, article and, ooh, I'm sorry, my dog is barking. So, where was I saying? So, when we went over part 1, in the blog and in the video, we went over why sleep is important, what happens when you get bad sleep, and what causes bad sleep. So today we're going to solve some of those issues. Now, is better sleep quality possible? From my own personal experience, yes. It might take some time, I won't lie, but it is possible. I wish I could say there was some one shot answer that will help you sleep that much better tonight, but unfortunately, there's not. So let us continue with some of these tips, and I hope that these will help you. For me personally, I suffer from anxiety and depression. Some of it's related due to my HIV status, and other parts is because I am trying to run my own business. So I do have a therapist, and she prescribed me light sleeping medication. Um, she could have prescribed me more, but I have an addiction history, so I chose not to use any controlled substances or narcotics. So I think she has me on, what is it, like hydroxyzine lowest dose, and it has helped. It works even better when I incorporate other sleep help techniques like nighttime yoga, reading before bed instead of watching TV, chamomile tea, melatonin, and things like that. But here are some other tricks that some I have used and some I learned about in order to write this and make this video for you. And I do hope they work for you. So let us begin, all right? So first, let us talk about the circadian rhythm, which is pretty much the human's sleep cycle, awake and sleep cycle. So there are few people that we would call morning people who are able to wake up extremely early and they're most alert and focused early in the morning right when they awake. And then we have the others, which are kind of like night owls. They prefer to wake up later in the morning, later in maybe early afternoon, and they focus and are more alert later in the day. This is different for everyone. There's not many morning people, even if they say they are truly are. It yeah, it could be very hard. Apparently, most of us are prone to be later in the day, which I found interesting and cool to learn. So back to the circadian rhythm. The circadian rhythm is like a biological clock for us. This human body biological clock pretty much regulates everything that happens throughout the day. It regulates the secretion of certain hormones that turn into, and then they help regulate our appetite. They help regulate whether we're satisfied and full. They help regulate hormone production and significant impact on most of our bodily functions. The circadian rhythm biological clock is important to make sure you're getting through every day, all day. So, in the terms of importance of sleep for the circadian rhythm or this biological clock, let us begin. When you wake up, sunlight goes through your eyes and signals to the brain to produce serotonin. Serotonin is the main daytime neurotransmitter that makes you feel awake, alert, and aware of your environment. Think of it like this: sunlight is basically signaling the body that it is time to secrete hormones that will make you feel awake. Isn't that pretty cool? So once you get that little block of sunlight, if you see it, your body is going to start making that serotonin to be awake. As your day goes on and darkness begins to fall, or if you're not surrounded by a lot of sunlight, the reverse effect starts to happen. So instead of your body creating that serotonin, the absence of light will signal your body to start secreting melatonin. Now, what is melatonin? If you said it helps you for sleep, that is correct. If you didn't, that's okay. Now you know. Melatonin helps you for sleep. So it's a hormone that's inside our body that's secreted when it gets darker, but sometimes that doesn't always happen. So you can take a melatonin pill, which will help you fall asleep. That is one way to help you. Melatonin is a nighttime neurotransmitter, which makes you start to feel drowsy and sleepy. But remember, this is only one of the mechanisms that induce a drowsy state and is linked to many other substances and hormones that regulate your sleep cycle, okay? The reason why this is important is because it's basically telling your body that it's intricately connected and it's supposed to be. And you're supposed to be tuned into your day and night cycle of wherever you live. The closer you get to the natural rhythm, the better your sleep will be. That's why this biological clock and the circadian rhythm is so important for you. So now let's go into four actionable four actionable tips and hacks to help you improve your sleep that you can start using today. Now remember, there are many more ways. For instance, I use hydroxyzine, which I was prescribed by my doctor. I also use nighttime yoga, and I learned to start reading at night before bed instead of watching TV, because watching TV, the light signals for your body to stay up, which is no good, and I did not know that. But here we go. Your first tip is to set up a schedule. Make a bedtime schedule for yourself and go to bed at the same time every night if you can. I know it's hard to do this, but it is important that you keep this routine. Since most of us are on a repeating schedule, picking a moment when you're tired should be easy. I'm sorry if it's not the case, but you do know your schedule, so hopefully you can figure out a good time every night that's the same to go to bed. Once you set up your sleeping schedule, try to stick to it even on the weekends. I know weekends you probably want to go out, drink and stuff. This could help ruin your rhythm and your new sleeping routine, especially drinking alcohol. Might help you fall asleep, but it'll definitely wake you up and will keep you awake. You have to make sure when you're setting up the schedule that you're not making drastic changes to your schedule. The body needs to be able to adjust naturally and seamlessly. So don't make crazy changes. If you're usually going to bed at 1 or 2 a.m., don't automatically say, okay, today I'm going to bed at 8 and this is going to happen every day. That's not how it's going to work. You're going to have to mellow yourself back. Instead of going to bed at 2 a.m., try maybe go to bed at 12 a.m., then 11 p.m., things like that. Another example is if you're an early bird and you like to get out of bed at 4 to 5 a.m., start off by going to bed 1 to 2 hours earlier at around 3 to 4 and slowly work your way towards midnight. So, also, while after you set up a sleep time, try to set up a wake up time and wake up at that same time every morning. Not only just going to bed at the same time every morning. This is crucial to keep that routine and that pattern. If you get enough sleep, you should be able to wake up automatically without the use of an alarm clock. And you might not believe this, but it is so true. On nights where I get good sleep, I am up by like 6 a.m., no alarm clock needed. And then on other nights when I don't get good enough sleep, I can't wake up. I sometimes sleep through the alarm, and I know I didn't get a good night's sleep. I could feel it. It's weird. It's hard to explain, but it is incredible. So if you start this schedule, going to bed early and waking up at a specific time, eventually you won't even need an alarm clock, which is pretty cool. There's some weeks when I don't even need an alarm clock, which is pretty awesome. And then some weeks where I'm like, yeah, this ain't happening. It just happens to all of us. Another thing to keep in mind when setting up the schedule is make sure your bed is as comfortable as possible. Wash those sheets, buy a new pad for your mattress for comfort, or even buy a new mattress if you have the money. Because if you're doing all this work, make sure you have some comfort because it just defeats the purpose. Your next tip is to try to reduce noise. People's noise sensitivity varies. There are light sleepers and heavy sleepers, as you may very well know. But the universal rule states that the quieter your room is, the better your sleep will be. This isn't only valid for hearing, but it's also valid for your other senses as well. The lesser information in your sleeping environment, the easier and better your sleep. So, no light to bother your eyes, no noise to bother your ears. Make sure you're not sucking on a candy and getting that sweetness while you're in bed, which could be a choking hazard, but you know what I'm saying. Things like that. Your senses can affect your sleep, so make sure they're all comfortable and accommodated for, pretty much. As you drift off to sleep, think of it like this. As you drift off to sleep, you get away from the conscious mind, which perceives and interprets information from your environment. So make sure there is little going on in that environment when you're trying to sleep, so your brain's not trying to process that information. It's pretty cool the way you think about it. The next tip goes hand in hand with setting up an alarm and making a schedule. And this is to set your alarm tone. I thought this was pretty interesting because I didn't even know that your alarm tone matters. Pretty much, let me start by saying, like I said before, if you get enough sleep, you won't need this alarm. You'll start to wake up naturally, which is pretty cool and pretty neat. But if you must use an alarm, try to avoid excruciatingly irritating alarms. And you know the ones I'm talking about. The ones that you're in a beautiful dream and all you hear is Yeah, stay away from that. You're gonna want to use more relaxing melodies to help you wake up more calmer. Apparently using those excruciating tones just like messes you up and apparently wakes you up very bad, which I didn't know that. So it's pretty interesting how your cell phones have these crazy alarms and they're no good for you. But then again, I understand why they have excruciating alarms because my partner can sleep through anything, even these excruciating alarms. So it's interesting. Very interesting. I did not know that your alarm tone matters when waking you up. So keep that in mind when setting your alarm. Do a relaxing melody to help you up, and it will start to help you wake up naturally rather than a big jolt. Sorry, but anywho, let us continue. So, your next tip to help you sleep better at night is to watch your mouth. Kidding. Anyway, no, I'm not kidding. Pretty much watch what you're putting in your mouth. One of the most underrated factors when it comes to sleep is your pre-bed nutrition. And I know this to be true because I used to love eating before bed. I don't really know what it was. I don't know if it's because that's just where I got my appetite, but I would be sitting there even after a big dinner and I'll be like, damn, I'm starving. And then I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. And I never understood why. So your pre-bed nutrition is crucial. In order to maximize the quality of your sleep, you must make sure that you are not consuming heavy meals around your bedtime. So your heavy meal should be eaten at least 2 to 3 hours before you decide to go to bed. So your stomach will settle, it's starting to digest and all that, and it's not going to interrupt your sleep. It's not going to be too heavy and just cause craziness. If you are hungry before you sleep, try to rely on something light that contains slow digesting proteins such as milk, yogurt, and other dairy products, or even a casein supplement. This will allow your body to get some good nighttime protein while not being heavily engaged in digesting. So pretty much don't eat a bowl of cereal or a bowl of pasta or a bowl of rice. That those carbs are so heavy in your stomach, your body will be wide awake trying to digest it through the night and still working. Those small proteins are easier for your body to digest. It doesn't require a lot of work and it could rest at night like it's supposed to. Think of it this way. Sleep is the time when the body ramps up the use of nutrients you gave it during the day. So, give it some rest at night. Pretty much. So those are your tips. I gave you other ones that work for me in the beginning, but those are the main ones from this blog post. And remember that the human body is an intimate connection with the earth and its day and night cycles. Your sleep pattern, your circadian rhythm, your biological clock is intimately connected with what's going on throughout the day. Remember, sun hitting your eyes creates the serotonin. As it gets darker, it creates the melatonin. It's pretty fascinating how it works. Your ultimate goal should be to synchronize with that cycle. Synchronize your biological clock with your day and night cycle. If you work overnight, this can be a little different, and I'm sorry about that, but it can still work. Make sure you also cover the aspects of nutrition and your environment when going to bed. Many people forget about this. I even forget about it, and it's so important. Your pre-bed nutrition and your environment. No noise, no light, no crazy feelings on your body, things like that. Quite frankly, if you manage to sleep for 30% of your 24 hours every day, that has to be good quality sleep. 30%, 24 hours, that's pretty much 30% of our lives we're spending asleep. So if you're averaging 30% of your 24 hours every day, that's pretty good sleep for the most part. Don't forget, a good night's sleep helps impact your life the next day. No sleep increases stress hormones, cortisol, and causes you to be less alert, less focused, less productive, and so much more. So make sure you're getting that sleep. It'll help you go farther, succeed, accomplish so much more. It really will. I noticed once I started talking to my therapist and getting my sleep situation straight, my life started getting so much better. I mean, my life was already pretty good, but sleep really does affect it. And it's so sad because we really do need it, but we really don't want to do it. So I hope you enjoyed this part 2, these hacks and these tricks. Remember, there's so many other ways. I'll go into more ways in another video. I'm thinking about making a part 3 to this series because sleep is so important, especially if you're living with chronic diseases like myself, like with HIV. Many of us suffer from the anxiety and the insomnia, which sucks. So this is important information. So I may very well make a third video, so stay out for that. Anywho, if you want to read the blog post, which will have more information, you can find that link in the description below. I also have added some cool Amazon products which I think will help you sleep down in that description. I am an Amazon affiliate, which means I will get a small commission from Amazon if you buy anything, but this is no extra charge to you. So thank you for any support. I also have some freebies down there which only require your email. There's a positivity and gratitude journal which will help you become more less stressed and more peaceful, more grateful for your life. And there's also a healthy habit, changing your healthy habit freebie guide, which helps you start creating healthy routines, start eating healthier, start sleeping better, and things like that. So if you're interested in that, click those links in the bottom, get your free stuff just by using your email. And most importantly, if you have not already, hit that subscribe button. I know it's hard to want to subscribe to people, especially when you don't know them, but I create pretty cool content. I think it's health and fitness, positivity, of course, HIV awareness, and I make some pretty neat playlists which will help you for sleep, yoga, relaxation, or working out. This is what I do. I love it. If you have any comments, concerns, or if you just want to see anything specific,
be sure to check the description below the video for some free digital products and for low discount apparel, accessories, and more on healthy living, staying positive, and living with HIV.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. See you next time.
Take care of yourself and get some rest.